Welcome back, this is Cerealsnax, and today I'm looking at a game called Faster Than Light, or FTL. And what it is it's a roguelike space game, and it reminds me of games like Binding of Isaac and those kind of roguelike games where you never have the same game twice, and it's incredibly brutal. It's not very. It doesn't give you a lot of chance to survive. It's very difficult. It's not something that's easy to master necessarily. And it seems pretty deep for like a pixel game. You can see it's kind of got this kind of pixel look to it as if it was made like in the late 90s. So let me just start her up, do a new game. So I'm going into this live basically, and what that means is I could brutally be destroyed within minutes. So you just have to bear with me on that. But let me just show you how it starts out. You first start out and you have this ship called the Kestrel, and you can actually get other ships, and you can see currently they're locked. I haven't unlocked any of them, even though I've been playing for quite a while, actually, for a few hours anyway. And you get the stealth cruiser, your mantis cruiser, engineering cruiser, your Federation cruiser, all this kind of stuff. And I don't know anything about those ships, but you start out with the Kestrel. And of course, I haven't unlocked the second layout type. I guess this particular ship only has one layout. And then of course, achievements and all that. Now there's a lot of stuff to this. You're probably looking at it and saying, "Whoa, what do you do?" You can customize the names of your crew, and I'll do that really quick. Let me make one guy Cereal. Okay, we got Cereal, and then let's make this guy Snacks, and then we'll make a female character, and we'll call her Almond. All right, and so whoops, we gotta change her to female. There we go. And we got our crew. Now you have you've got some weapons. You've got these missiles, which actually are limited shot, and burst lasers, which just take power off your engines. And I'll talk about power and all that stuff here in a minute. Let me just get started. You can see how things are allocated for power here. You've got your shields, your engines, your O2, weapon control, med bay, piloting, sensors, and your door system. Now this game is not really about the dogfighting and more about just managing your ship systems. So it's more of a micromanagement game within your ship and not so much about fighting externally. So you'll see that it's kind of funny, these little cubes here that are in the almost look like companion cubes from Portal. That was probably intentional. Let's start it up. So it tells you that you've got this data that you're carrying that's very important. You have to get to the next sector. You're going through all these sectors before the rebel fleet catches up to you. So let's start it up. So I've got it's pause mode right now. You start out in the first zone without anything to really do except for to jump. So got my crew here. You can see you can select all three of them or singly. And one thing I like to do, I like to put one guy in the shield room here and put Almond in the weapon station. Having them in those rooms actually highlights this little person thing down here on the left, and actually gives you a little bit of a bonus when they're in those rooms when you're under attack. Actually, we'll put her in engines for now. Okay, there she is. Now the weapons aren't even online. We can put them online. Let's put them online and move her back, actually, because we don't really need her in the engine room. Now, if you have somebody in the engine room, you can actually dodge attacks easier. And if you have somebody in shields, your shields are actually more powerful. So, and then you can allocate power based. You can see this is all the power you have from your reactor, and you can allocate that power to the different systems. And of course, now I'm out of power from my reactor, and that's something you can upgrade. And I'll show you that in a minute. But let's just jump into the action, and I'll show you what this is all about. So there's multiple sectors you can jump to. You can see there's one down here, unvisited, one in a nebula, and then one that looks like a distress beacon. So let's just go to the distress beacon. We're probably going to find something interesting. So you jump. Now you have limited jumps based on your jump power here, but you can get more of that later on. Now, I've been attacked, of course, which is pretty standard. So you've got here a rebel rigger, and it's obviously hostile, so it was a fake distress signal. It's a trap. So what you do is you got your weapons online. What I like to do is take out their shields as quickly as possible, and then shoot out their oxygen sensors. So, you see, boom, I hit the shields, O2 is down to red, and what that means is they're now having to manage their O2. They have to send their crew to fix that O2 and take care of it. So let's just keep firing. See, now this happens sometimes too. They'll actually offer to surrender if you don't destroy their ship. So in this case, they'll give you stuff if you don't, but I like to just keep going and just blow them out of the sky. Why not? And I try not to use my missiles too much because obviously that, you'll run out of missiles. And there we go. Destroyed the ship. No problem. So that was actually easier than I thought it would be for my first encounter. Usually you get a little bit out of your league to start out. So there we go. And now we have these 25 scraps. So you can get scraps. I got some more missiles and some drone parts. And there's my fuel that gets consumed when you actually jump. Let's go to the ship and look at the upgrades. So you can see you got the crew here, and you can get up to 8 crew. This is equipment that I don't really have anything of, just my 2 guns, the missiles, and the burst laser. But now that I've got 25 scrap metal, I can actually pick something I want to improve. And right now, I think what I really want to focus on is shields. I always like to up my shields. I'm more of a defensive player in that respect. So I'm down to 5 scrap now. So let's keep going. Let's keep jumping. So I've been lucky so far. So we had the distress. The goal is to just get across the galaxy to this exit. So just pick your next jump point and go for it. So you detect a rebel scout on the attack approach to a small refueling outpost. The weapons are charged, but they're not firing yet. So they're currently neutral. So what I can choose is to either defend or just avoid the conflict entirely. I'm actually going to go and intervene. I'm going to be the good guy here. No one defies the rebel fleet. Well, I do. So I'm going to go after them. Let's see. Oops. Let's go after their shields again. I like to do that. It always makes it easier in general. So I got a fire now. I'm going to have to put almond flour to the fire. Whoops. I have big troubles now. I got a fire in my O2 capacity. Let's see. Keep firing at them. Blow their shields away. So now the health of my crew is starting to go down. This is where things get a little bit hairy because you got to manage. Oh boy, I'm really having troubles here. These guys are putting out the O2. She's just putting out my weapons system is down. I'm getting just blown apart by this massive ship here. Almond flour's dying. Let's take her to the med lab. So we're gonna have to focus on these guys. Oh, I think I just lost a guy. Yep. So we've got fires all over the ship. Multiple crewmates. We're in real trouble here. So this may be it. So this is probably a good example of a game that went south. I went up against a rebel fighter, which you can see the weapons on this thing. It is a pretty incredibly powerful ship. Let's fix our weapons. Maybe we can get out of this without getting too annihilated. Get my weapons back online at the very least. Not enough system power because my engine is down, and there goes my O2 again. We got a fire in here. This is looking pretty dire, and this is what usually happens in a game to most people. In a few games I've gotten a couple sectors in, but yeah, and I'm done. So there you go. So there's a quick look at a first mission. I'm going to run through another one just to give you an idea of what this game is all about. I think it's very well done. This game was actually one of the first Kickstarter games I think that has really seen some success with their Kickstarter and actually has been released. So this is history in the making, this game, in terms of Kickstarter and those types of things that are going on. And it's simple, but it's totally worth it. It's $8.99 on Steam right now. I'd suggest you pick it up if you're at all interested in this sort of roguelike game, because the hours just start to melt away when you're playing it. There's so much to do, and it's so interesting just managing the inside of your ship. If you're a fan of, like TV shows like Firefly and Star Trek and all that sort of stuff, this game will really appeal to you because a lot of those ideas are in the game itself. So let me run through this again. Let's see how different we can have it. Let's put somebody on shields. Let's put our trusty almond back onto weapons. And let's do it. Let's jump. Let's see how different. Now you can see the map is completely different again. So we're gonna jump. Okay. You come across a pirate in a hot pursuit of an unidentified ship. You quickly receive a transmission from the pirate. Stay out of this fight and we'll make it worth your while. So you can accept their bribe. Now that's pretty interesting. They actually say, accept their bribe, fuel 1, missiles 2, scrap 9, augment, weapon pre-igniter. Or I can be a hero. Now, what they're giving me is pretty impressive, so let's just take the bribe. And move on, right? Now, I don't know who they're attacking. It was unidentified, but that's not our problem. We're the rogues of the galaxy, so let's just move on. Let's jump. I like their backgrounds. Like I said, everything's relatively simplistic about it, but that simplicity, I think, is what really makes this game shine. Oh, a pawnbroker has set up shop. You might be offering something worth looking at. I can give away 2 of my fuel and I get 5 missiles, which can be helpful. So I got 5 missiles, now I have 15 missiles. Missiles are incredible, and I try not to use them all up, but I also try to use them as much as I can because they are incredibly powerful. I probably should have used them more in that last battle that I lost. So let's jump. Let's go to the next beacon. I'm going to save up my scrap a little bit here. There's also stores that you can use that scrap for, and actually I just got 17 scrap, so that's impressive. I'm up to 36 scrap. So far you can see how different these games can be. So far I've been really lucky. But I'm kind of flirting with danger here. I'm going to go after these distress beacons just to be the hero of this sector. And that's just something you can do. Now this is a new one. I haven't seen a ship shaped like this before. NG Scout. Small civilian ship flies over as soon as you arrive. You're prepared to fight, but they just inform you that they're out of FTL fuel and can't jump. I could just apologize and move on. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give them some fuel. And they gave me 21 scrap, which I think is a pretty good trade. I didn't really need the fuel as much. So let's look at some of our upgrades again. Now, I showed this a little bit before. I upgraded my shields before, and I think I'm going to do that a couple times. Let's see, if I do 30, that's enough for now. The other thing you can do is increase the power. You can see I ran out of power pretty quickly last time. That's good to increase. And then let's just increase the engines. We're going to spend all of our scrap, just get our ship upgraded. And let's jump. Okay, let's go on to the next beacon here. So you can see how this game can get addictive. I'm just kind of, playing it. Everything's so different. So short-range scanners may discover useful materials. Let's explore the asteroid field. You happen upon an abandoned mining site. Few mining drones could be repurposed. Cool, scrap and drone parts. So totally benefit. I'm having a lot of good luck this time. I'll say that. Maybe I can get through this sector and show you kind of how the transition is done. Civilian ship being chased by a pirate. Let's aid him. Power up your weapons and engage the pirate ship. Okay. So this is another real powerful rebel fighter. So this may be short-lived, but let's put all of our power into missiles. Oops, no. All of our power, and let's just go after their shields quickly and their O2. That's my kind of my tactic for right now. Come on, shields. Keep blowing those shields away. Blow their O2 away. We did that. Okay, good. Now the other thing to go after is their bridge. That's where I'm getting a little bit luckier this time. Now my shields probably could use more power. Nope. There we go. Pirate ship breaks apart. You hasten to contact the civilian ship. It's a good thing you came and did. We'd be dead now otherwise. I'm a shipwright and I'd like to help you help me. Install a piece of equipment. I get a weapon fire beam. Awesome. So I've gotten a lot of cool stuff. Let's look at the ship. Look at our equipment upgrade. So here's all the stuff that they've been given now. This is the new one I got, a fire beam. Terrifying beam does no physical damage but ignites fires. Very useful against fighting other ships. So we'll keep that on there. And a weapon pre-igniter. Weapons are made immediately available after an FTL jump. So that's my augmentation that I've got. That's pretty awesome too. So this ship, I hope that I don't die because this ship is pretty good. Now I don't think I have enough power to do my fire beam. You can see that I'm out. I've got one little thing left. So what I'm going to do is actually upgrade. I still don't know if I'll have enough even after upgrading that, but let's just take a look. I'm now at 10 power bars. Not enough power, so I may have to divert some energy from other areas. I really can't. So now one thing I could do is this. Use my fire beam instead of the burst laser and just see how it goes. So let's do that. Alright, so we've made it to the exit of this sector, which is always feels good because it is not the easiest thing in the world. And Rebel automated scout floating near this beacon. Despite its pristine condition, it appears to be deactivated. Attempt to download the ship's data sensors. You're able to pull all the ship's data about this sector. Your map has been updated. Cool. So now if you look at your map, now this is a cool thing when you find something like this, it actually shows you other areas. Ship detected, ship beacon, but right now what I'm going to do actually is go on to the next sector. So here's what the next sector tab looks like, sort of. You can pick like a civilian or a pirate controlled sector. I've done civilian sectors before and I've done pirate before, and neither one seems any easier. So I'm going to go after pirate just because it sounds cooler. And here we go. Alright. It tells you a little bit about the sector. And we're back on to another sector. So you can see we're in Sector 2 now. At some point in time, I'm guessing I'm going to unlock some achievements. But in the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy jumping sector to sector. So I hope you got a good idea of what this game is all about. I hope you enjoyed watching me do a little bit of a Let's Play on it. And, I hope that you pick up the game yourself. I think it's well worth the $8.99 that Steam is offering for it. And I recommend it. So I hope you enjoyed. Please like if you did. Please subscribe. And I will catch you again later. I'm going to go back to playing the game. Thanks for joining me.